welcome you. Okay, so today is Thursday. It's regular science day. What are we doing today that's so special? Toby, what about fossils?
We're making fossils.
Awesome, we're making fossils. So over the past 2 weeks, we've been learning all about fossils. Can you guys tell me a little bit about fossils? Like, what are fossils? What do we know about them so far? Jacob?
Fossils are traces of prehistoric living organisms.
Beautiful. Fossils are traces of prehistoric, meaning, is that like today or yesterday?
No.
How long ago? Thousands of years ago. So we know they're traces of prehistoric creatures sometimes. What else do we know about them, Dwayne?
Fossils.
We know that there is such a thing as a fossil record. And what exactly is a fossil record? Timo?
It's everything, recording all fossils we know about.
Awesome. It's basically a fancy term for all the information we know about fossils, such as how many have been discovered, who has discovered them, where they have been discovered, etc. Now, there's something tricky about fossils. Are all fossils the same?
No.
Not at all. Do you guys remember how many types?
Four.
Tyler? Four. Do you remember the 4 types of fossils?
Yes.
All right, let's see. I would like for one person to help me out by sharing 2 types of fossils. Enrique? Body and trait. Beautiful. What else? Bonnie?
Cast and mold.
Cast and mold. Awesome. Pat on the back. All right, what's my favorite type of fossil?
Body.
Why is body my absolute favorite type of fossil? Raise your hand, please. Tyler.
Because they have like the whole piece or the whole thing.
Exactly. A body fossil is really, really awesome because it usually has the whole, what?
Body.
The whole body, the whole carcass of the animal, or the structure, the bone. Now, what's the most common type of fossil? Trace. Enrique, why is a trace fossil the most common? Exactly. It doesn't necessarily have to be the whole animal. It can be any trace left behind, such as a footprint. What else can be considered a trace fossil? Jason.
A nest?
A nest. How can a nest even be considered a fossil? Jacob.
Because it shows like what they used to like make it and where it was.
Exactly. It leaves behind clues as to what this bird or this animal used to make its nest. What else? Animal poop. How can poop be considered a fossil? Anybody remember? Eric? Exactly. Scientists can figure out what they ate, and therefore they can figure out what types of organisms were found in that particular environment. So that's already a whole lot of stuff that we can consider fossils. Not only bones and teeth, but also animal poop, feathers, nests, footprints or tracks. That's a ton of stuff. Now, your job for today is to create your own fossils. We're going to be doing the Let's Make Fossils lab. It's very evident that you guys are very knowledgeable. You know the 4 different types of fossils, right? You're experts? All right, so today I want you guys to share what types of objects you brought to fossilize. Raise your hand if you want to share the type of object you brought to fossilize. Dwayne. Quarter. Why a quarter?
Oh, these are nice.
Exactly. Did you guys hear the type of fossil it's going to make? Great. How so? How so? Dwayne, go ahead and tell us how. It's going to basically leave an imprint of the design. Raise your hand if you want to share another object that you brought. Timo. A leaf. What type of imprint is that going to leave? You have no idea, so I guess we'll find out, right? Anybody else? Vicente? A shell. That's a very interesting one. What do you think that shell is going to leave? It's also going to leave a trace, but I want you to think underwater. If there is, let's say, for example, a clam, and that clam falls all the way down to the floor, and over time, the waves drag more and more sand over it, and years from now, what's going to happen to that plant?
Decompose.
It could be made into a cat fossil or gold fossil.
Definitely, but before that happens, what's going to happen, Bonnie?
Decompose.
It's going to decompose. So remember, over time, all this sand and all the minerals are going to, what's going to happen? They're going to compress. They're going to harden. And once that shell, can I borrow that shell? Or anybody's shell? So once this shell, which is pretty tiny, pretty thin, once this shell starts to decompose, what is it going to leave in that sand, in that compressed sand? A mold. Very good. And that mold already is considered a type of fossil because the body is gone. It's disintegrated. But it's leaving its imprint on both sides, which is going to create a hollow space, which is therefore called a mold fossil. And what's going to happen to that hollow space with time? It's going to get filled in with what, Christian? Minerals from where? From the water, and therefore it's going to become a cast fossil, which will resemble the exact same look of that shell. Pretty good. So, very quickly, we're going to go over our PowerPoint from last week. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to raise your hand and share. Fossils. We know, just like Jacob said, that fossils are basically any type of evidence of an earlier geological time. So we know that if there's a footprint, and that footprint is covered with minerals, it's a track that at one point there was a form of life there. Now, from all of its surroundings, maybe we can find more traces, more clues as to the type of animal, the animal's diet, how long ago, etc. We know that fossils do not only include bones, they include leaves, feathers, and any other types of organisms that leave their imprints on rocks. We know that organisms can be frozen in ice, and what type of fossils does that leave behind?
Body.
Body. What are other ways we can have body fossils for? Tar. What else? Amber. What else? Ice. So ice, tar, amber, and not plastic. Bonnie.
Someone that died in the desert.
Yeah, someone that dies in the desert, something that dies in the desert, and it gets covered with rocks, sand, dirt. Yeah, exactly. So, today, you guys are going to be what? Paleontologists. And paleontologists' job basically consists of finding out information from these fossil finds. Now, are they always, like, digging for fossils? No, not exactly. So today, your job is going to consist of creating your own fossil by putting your objects, your coins, your leaves, your shells, your bugs, whatever it is that you brought, you're going to pour them into something called a plaster of Paris, which you will be mixing. Yep, you're going to be mixing it in your own tables. Then, once you get it to a nice consistency, thick, not too watery, you are going to carefully pour a layer of plaster into your cupcake holder, which I'll have someone help me walk around and pass them out in a bit. And then, by the way, there are instructions on the handout I will give you in a bit. You will then place your object carefully on top of the plaster, like this, and you will pour a little bit more plaster over your object. Any questions before we start?
No.
No? You guys excited?
Yes.
So, there is a lab write-up sheet that I need for everyone to start working on. There are 3 questions that you have to work on before you start making your fossil. The questions are, 1, describe the object you will fossilize. What do you think that means?
We have to describe details.
Give details. I want you guys to use the 5 senses. So I want you to tell me what it looks like, what it feels like. Does it sound like anything in particular? Please don't taste it. But try to use as many of the 5 senses as possible. Then,
we gonna take it home?
Then, number 2 says, draw an illustration of what your object looks like before you fossilize it. So, I have included a space for you guys to carefully draw your object. Try to get as much detail as possible because you're also going to draw your object after you fossilize it. You're going to draw the imprints that have been made, or the mold, or the cast, whatever has been made into the plaster. And number 3 says, what type of fossil do you believe your object will make? Again, how many types of fossils could you choose from? 4. So you're going to tell me in number 3 the type of fossil that you believe your object is going to make, and back it up with reasoning. Why is your object going to leave behind this specific type of fossil? Any questions before we get started? All right, guys, please start working on questions 1 through 3 as I see you working. I'm going to walk around with the cupcake holders and all of the other materials. So go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Also, for those of you who need the information, on the projector, I have the 4 different types of fossils and some information on each of those.
Use my bracelet.
Let me see the side of your bracelet.
I have a pointer there, but I'll use my
Alright, at this point, you should be done with question 1. Not yet. Good job, Amanda. So far, I see great pictures of your object.
Right. We're gonna fossilize. Ready. Ready.
Right, I'm gonna trace my leaf.
Alright, raise your hand if you still need a cupcake holder.
It's a down.
Carlos didn't get a wall and got it. That was my part of it. Good job.
Oh, the one that's not working.
Alright guys, you have about 5 more minutes to finish your questions before I start passing out the material. Yes.
Oh my God. You say I always try to do that. That's a chase box. Look like that when you take that anywhere.
They got Freddy.
Alright guys, as you are done with your 3 questions, I would like for you to come up and obtain some plaster for your group. Bring me Show me that you're done with your 3 questions.
Hey, you don't have my pencil. I mean your pencil. Let me see. No, that's old. You died?
Ladies and gentlemen, when you get the direction, once you're done writing down the answers to questions 1 through 3, please make sure that you read the directions. It's very easy. All you're going to do is mix together the plaster of Paris with water. Start by pouring in a little bit of water, a few drops at a time, just like Kenya's doing. Mix it, mix it, mix it. Pour a little bit more water until you get it to a pretty nice consistency. It should look like a smoothie. Just make sure that you keep mixing it. Yeah, that's awesome. Try to add a little bit more water so we can pour it out easily. Oh, it stinks.
That's gonna be a trick.
Put that thing down.
Alright,
Trace? Is it gonna be a movie?
maybe.
Like this, you put that powder in the more so that you can like pour it out like all. I think that'd be like I know that is. Does it still work? She's like, yeah, she's like, and I drink it and it came out very good.
Alright guys, at this point, everyone should have plaster at their tables. If you don't,
And it's also a bit. I poured it out and it was all 5 minutes just for everything.
Alright. I got some.
Alright guys. Yeah. Alright, listen up. 5, everybody in your seat. 4, 3, 2, 1. I see some people, listen up. I see some people who have really large objects. So Amber, you're going to need a plate. I have plates back there so you can put your Then, once you have your plaster to a smoothie-like consistency, You guys are going to do what?
Kill it.
No, you're going to grab your cupcake holder. You're going to pour a small amount so that it covers the bottom of the cupcake holder. You're carefully going to place your object in there, and then you're going to pour some more plaster over it so that you cover it nice and carefully. Yeah. Did you need more plaster? Yeah. Coffee. And then it's a liquid? Yeah. All right.
What are you putting in? I didn't know. No, I
Alright guys, let's just see people start pouring up there. Cupcake holders. You still there?
Hey, that's mine. Got yours. That's what we should do.
It's not gonna work.
Oh, man.
Put your shell on top. Alright, listen up. 3, 2, don't cover it. 1. Everybody that's standing needs to go sit down. Need water. Alright, sit down. Lisa, please sit down.
What?